Hello Internet, I'm your only mate, and it's time for a new death battle. This time we have Sauron from Lord of the Rings versus the Lich King from World of Warcraft. Now, as I should say with all my reaction videos, please click the link in the description below to go watch the actual episode itself before watching mine or anyone's reactions. Don't be a dick, support the official release. Okay, so how do I know these characters? Okay, so I watched Lord of the Rings, like, when I was really rather young. But I didn't take, like, too much of it in back then. Because I was a kid, and I was weird. But anyway, but I know who Sauron is, like, more stuff about what he can do. And just, like, I know more of Lord of the Rings than I do, Warcraft. Like, I've gone back to the movies mostly through watching reviews by The Unusual Suspect, which I highly recommend checking out. By the way, they're fucking hilarious. And playing the Shadow of Mordor game, I believe, and Shadow of War. I can't remember which one is the sequel off the top of my head, but I played those two. Didn't finish the sequel though for some reason. I don't really know why, but I'm playing other games at the moment anyway, so... Speaking of games, I'm not too familiar with World of Warcraft. I know of it. Mostly through just, like, knowing it's a thing. And the South Park episode where they were just playing Warcraft. That's about the extent of my knowledge before this. But I've spoken to a whole bunch of people who know way more about these two than I do. And as for who I think is going to win, I haven't a fucking clue. Because, oh god, like... From what I can understand, at least of everything I've been told, on completely neutral territory, these two shouldn't be able to kill each other. And they can both do a lot of the same thing. So, it's like, how do you determine a winner? But, I guess I'll watch and find out. So, I have seen the fight preview on Death Battle Cast, and it looks really good so far. So, excited to see the rest of that and find out what one of the remaining 2 episodes this year are. The penultimate episode in the season finale. Nothing about them has been teased, at least as far as I'm aware. So, they are complete mysteries. Anyway, I'm gonna put these on shut up and hit play. Wow, 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 wow.
Sauron, the Lord of the Rings, the Lich King, Warcraft.
I have to admit, it is kind of nice to be back to the traditional format after Jason vs. Michael. I still love that, but...
Of light and shadow.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our
nice to get back to what I'm used to, you know?
And skills to find
Find
out who would win a
death battle.
Within the timeless halls, at the dawn of creation, the supreme god Eru and his angelic Ainur created all of existence through a single harmonious song.
It's also just, like, really cool hearing Death Battle talk about new franchises.
Melkor ruined that harmony, giving the world its many, many imperfections, like Wiz. Then after messing up God's hit single,
yeah, I'm excited to hear them talk
Melkor
about these two.
To be even more metal, more God.
Morgoth's power was impressive, daunting. Several Maiar, essentially lower-ranked angels, joined him in his frightening conquest of the world he had helped create.
And the greatest of these followers was one obsessed with destroying all life in the pursuit of bringing about complete order.
He used to be Myron, but under Morgoth's reign, he became the one and only Sauron.
As the bigwig of Morgoth's forces, Sauron spent thousands of years bringing Middle-earth to its knees.
He's almost more a force of nature than anything else.
Wow.
Able to create infernos, cause
been around a long
continent-spanning
time.
earthquakes, and even absorb souls.
And because he's a weird angel spirit man, he can morph his body around his own soul however he wants, or just shed it like clothing and fight as a ghost.
He can morph far beyond that. He has appeared as something akin to both man and elf, attractive and devious. A werewolf, once thought to be the greatest wolf of all, and even a vampire.
Oh man, Tumblr's gonna go nuts with that.
Many of his greatest accomplishments are not due to his powerful magics and weaponry, but his inhuman cunning. Sauron is nothing less than a master of manipulation.
He's like if Loki and Satan did a fusion dance. He loves to trick someone with illusions, shadow magic, or just...
I was about to question
sad,
something that I
pathetic
realized I'm
human
an idiot.
emotions. Like when he convinced Saruman to join the evil side, who was basically a super wizard specifically meant to lead the charge against Sauron.
In some ways, Sauron is actually wiser than the master he served. In the most epic war to eclipse all other wars, humans, dwarves, elves, and more united to destroy Morgoth, casting what remained of Melkor into the void.
But Sauron saw it coming
Okay.
and bailed faster than me at a divorce hearing, just to show back up centuries later in
damn
the
it, Boomstick.
fiery pits of Mordor.
There, the Dark Lord created a plan to conquer everything.
Sorry, I just got a little thrown off with, like,
Forging
Boomstick rolling the R.
and planted them among the leaders of elven, man, and dwarven kind, all controlled by another ring.
And I don't know why.
Secret.
The one ring to rule them all, one ring to find them, one ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them. Oh god, that's so epic. I'm into poetry now. Forged in the fires of Mount Doom using part of Sauron's own soul, the One Ring amplified his power and let him control the minds and actions of the other ring bearers.
The 9 kings of men were especially vulnerable, and saw themselves reduced to twisted wraiths bent to Sauron's whims.
It wasn't any better for the
Oh,
so much so that Sauron mind-controlled most of
the ring
Mordor.
wraiths. Why was I blanking on that?
An island nation that could have had as many as 18 million people.
I'm dumb.
And Sauron had them all at his creepy, pokey fingertips.
This led to retaliation from Eru, who had hardly directly intervened ever before, even against Morgoth. Eru sank Numenor, while Sauron was still on it. But the Dark Lord spirit persevered, indestructible even against the wrath of God.
Sauron used the ring to build himself a new body. It may have cost a lot of power, but he took a biblical event to the face and went right back on to being evil.
Damn.
Putting so much power into one object did have drawbacks.
Which hit back
Take off
hard
the
when
ring.
Or subtracted a digit from his hand.
Yeah.
The Warrior King did more than just cut off a finger. He took the ring and its power for himself. This
And then he got an
forced
arrow
Sauron
in the
to
back.
retreat as a disembodied spirit, threatened by his own power in the hands of another. And should the One Ring be
And yeah, the
destroyed
ring, like,
completely,
corrupts everybody.
Sauron's spirit could be rendered impotent beyond repair. It isn't all bad, though. The ring can turn you invisible and create visions of impending doom, and has one
Boomstick.
hell of a defense mechanism.
Yeah, who'd want to destroy it when it makes you want it? It has a will of its own, with promises whispered even the best of us can't refuse. The greatest poultry dinner ever, Boomstick. Bourbon, pecan, parmesan, turducken. It's so precious.
What did you just do?
What? It sounded delicious. Ring or no ring, Sauron's a beast. He's swatted away armies of soldiers.
Wow.
Interrupted Mount Doom.
That's a ring coming out of a ring.
He has total control over his own being and can modify his soul.
I
at
am
will,
so sorry.
So he can definitely resist someone like spooky ghost Celebrimbor trying to dominate his spirit.
And being among the strongest Maiar, the peak of Sauron's power is beyond that of Ose, a lesser Maya, which is specifically important because Ose single-handedly raised the island of Numenor.
Yeah, remember that island that got Noah'd? That place. No wonder everyone wants his ring. Who could turn down that much
And I
power?
noticed I didn't bring up any
Silver,
numbers for
the hearts
that.
of men are easily corrupted, and he kept the ring
So
rather
true.
than destroy it. But in the end, the ring destroyed him and waited for its master's return.
Sauron was rebuilding Mordor into a world-conquering force. And after a little bit of good old-fashioned torture, he found out the ring was in the Shire. The chillest, coziest, dopest place imaginable. Ah man, when I retire, I'm gonna go live in a hobbit hole and just get lit 24/7.
And so began the War of the Ring. Sauron's forces covered the land, seeking both the ring and the downfall of man, always shadowed by the symbol of his ever-present influence, the Eye of Sauron.
It was a slaughter fest. Middle-earth stood no chance.
Trying so hard not to make
Basically
jokes.
accepted death by orcs as inevitable. It
Just
was
with
hopeless.
what it also
The
looks
kingdoms
like.
of men would finally fall for good.
Save for the Dark Lord's truest weakness. Sauron's cunning and stratagems were impressive, sure, but ultimately, he never truly understood the people of Middle-earth. In his mind, absolute power was factually irresistible. He never imagined a mere mortal could ever, or would ever, seek to actually destroy the One Ring.
Against all odds and a whole lot of walking, Sauron was
Whole lot of
defeated,
walking.
not by the sparkly new king or the armies of Middle-earth, but by the most unlikely creature imaginable, Elijah Wood.
Yet, even as a formless shadow, Sauron's legacy remains one of domination, treachery, and
I was just expecting him to say Hobbit.
fitting for the being that represents, and I quote, as near an approach to the wholly evil will as is possible.
Okay,
On the distant planet of
Lich
Draenor,
King,
destruction
Arthas.
is imminent. The orc shaman
What you got?
prepared a spell
And I'm
with his followers
trying to keep some stuff in mind about Sauron
all to escape
during
the
this.
fury of the demon lord Kil'jaeden.
But when Ner'zhul
Kil'jaeden?
walked through the portal,
But I like
Kil'jaeden was right
GX.
there waiting for him.
Ner'zhul was forced to serve Kil'jaeden's will to
Low-hanging fruit, I know, but
Azeroth. Thus, he was transformed into the first Lich King.
This Lord of the Dead was sent to the continent of Northrend, but Kil'jaeden had one more twist for poor Zul. His body was gone, leaving just his spirit, which was bound to a set of armor sealed within a prison of magical ice. Man, this guy can't catch a break. Armor looks sick, though. He's gonna possess.
I mean, yeah.
that on, huh?
From his frozen prison,
Foreshadowing.
Lich King would begin his conquest, conjuring an unstoppable plague of undeath. Soon, this would threaten the lives of the kingdom of Lordaeron.
Okay, so that was a lot, but here's where our main guy finally shows up. Lordaeron's crown prince and holy knight, Arthas Menethil.
There he
His
is.
name does kind of sound like something your doctor would give you for fungus, but hey, no. Arthas was
Ew.
a badass. At 19 years old, he was considered one of the best swordsmen in the world and had mastered nearly every weapon he could.
Even with such a skilled warrior as its prince, Lordaeron was already severely pressured by a war with the
Internal Blizzard in
so a zombie
2017.
plague was the last thing Arthas needed. Compounding this even further, Ner'zhul managed to break free of Kil'jaeden's power and turned his attention toward creating a champion to lead his ever-growing scourge. Naturally, he chose Arthas.
Who was a stressed out mess, to the point where he tried to stop the plague by killing everyone in his own city. Holy shit.
That's a bit extreme.
Yeah, he was totally losing it. So hearing a creepy voice in his head really didn't help.
Long story short, in his efforts to protect his realm, Arthas discovered a rune blade and took it for himself. This was the fearsome Frostmourne.
Surprise! It's the
That is
source
a
of the
really
Lich
cool looking
King's
sword.
power. He was stealing souls and storing them within the blade. With this new ice-cold cleaver in hand, Arthas lost his soul and got a Death Knight makeover.
And so the former hero of light would lead the very scourge he previously fought.
And in time, Arthas would don the armor for himself, giving the Lich King a new, ultimate power. Walking!
Remember, everything the Lich King had done up until this point had been from his prison within a literal block of ice.
And this new Sauronite armor. Wait, no, Saronite armor.
Oh my god!
Like, what was it doing stuck in ice all this time when it's made of old god blood and self-repair?
That's great.
Screw you, blacksmith! You're never taking my hard-earned gold! I'll never have to get naked and die again!
By donning this dark helm, Ner'zhul and Arthas fused to become one, a being far more powerful than either had been before.
He could effortlessly cover cities in ice storms, murder hundreds with the power of shadow, and learn all of your secrets with the Eye of Acheris.
Azeroth's fate
Okay, that's gonna help.
was doomed.
See this guy? He's Illidan, a 15,000-year-old demon hunter with a bit of a chip on his shoulder. As a Death Knight, Arthas could take him down, even after fighting through a massive army to get to him. Against this new Lich King, Illidan never stood a chance.
This is
Damn.
important because Illidan had absorbed the power of Gul'dan, an orc warlock who, alongside his followers, raised the Broken Isles out of the sea. A massively powerful feat
Thought
of
I heard
magic.
someone behind me.
The fact that Arthas, a mortal guy, beat him up is a big deal. Just imagine how kick-ass he'd be in full control of the undying Lich King powers. Oh wait, we don't have to.
Ner'zhul may have pulled Arthas' strings up until this point, but he had made a drastic miscalculation. Within the mind of the Lich King, Arthas battled Ner'zhul for control, and won. The power of Frostmourne, of the Scourge, of Undeath itself was now
I'm trying
under
to
the
both
command
pay attention and
of
read at the same
Arthas.
time.
And by this point, he was just done. Like, with everything. We've all had one of those days, right? Where you see all of humanity is so pathetic they can only be saved by just killing them all, so you rip out your own heart. Yeah, relatable.
Determined to end all life,
Maybe not the last
spread his
bit.
Scourge across Azeroth, spreading the plague to every corner of the world. He slaughtered every contender in his path,
Ew.
including legendary champions like this hero of the Horde, Dranosh Sarfang.
Who the Lich King bitch slapped to death in one hit, then
Damn.
zombified to serve him instead. Man, that didn't go well.
The Lich King seemed unstoppable.
Only one thing could take him down. A 25-man raid team of the best nerds World of Warcraft servers had to offer. And that one guy who was just there because he was friends with somebody, but damn, he sucked.
With these heroes,
And the guy who
the
shouts,
Paladin
"Leroy
shattered
Jenkins!"
Frostmourne with an equally legendary blade, ending
Oh.
the Lich King's vile reign.
But the Scourge doesn't work on Phantom Menace Battle Droid rules, so there must always be a Lich King to keep the relentless undead in check.
Yet no Lich King before or since ever matched the terror and malice Arthas brought to Azeroth.
Without a doubt, one of the most terrifying kings to ever conquer the world of Warcraft.
Pause. Okay. I still don't really know. But there are a few things I did take some notes of. Okay, well, first of all, they didn't really bring up any numbers for, like, here's how strong this feat is, or how fast this was, or anything like that, so I've got that going against me. Now, Sauron's been alive and just doing this for way longer, so he's definitely got the experience edge. But I'm still gonna go for Lich King, purely because it sounded like Sauron has a more exploitable way of ending him. And the Lich King has that thing that can tell him, ooh, you're... First thing that pops into my head is a Simpsons clip as I say, all your secrets. So, I believe it's possible he could just, like, use that to find out, like, this is, like, the One Ring. That's what it does. You gotta destroy that. Or at least get it off of him, and then, like, that'll take care of that. Yeah, so I think it might not be the best reasoning, I know, but I have, like, nothing else, like, I don't know what else to go off of at the moment. It's entirely possible I missed something. No, I absolutely did. Thought I heard something again. So I'm more than prepared to be wrong, and if Sauron wins, cool. I mean, I don't have, like, much of a preference personally. At the moment, I just think Lich King wins, but I'll just have to see. Anyway, let's just resume. Alright, the combatants are set, and we run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for an undeath battle!
I'm trying to sync, and Boomstick's always throwing me off. Anyway, fight time. Just chilling on the throne. I do like the whispers, like when Sauron just shows up. Also, awesome voices.
Only death.
Alright, so I'm busting out the magic. Busting out the ring. And blind from here on out.
I'll tear out your heart.
Too late.
You will find nothing. Your efforts are for naught.
Okay, that is a cool shot.
I see you.
And the area they're fighting in, like, kudos. It's not over.
I serve no one.
Oh, Jesus.
Witness the prophecy of your doom. Speak nothing but lies.
Oh, shit.
There is no life in the void. Only death.
And... rip. I do like that steam effect when he sits on the throne.
KO! Well, if he wasn't all powerful before,
Alright, I called that
look
wrong.
out for supercharged Sauron now.
Despite the Lich King's impressive power, Sauron's might was absolute.
But not before he got the duel of his life in a crazy close bout. First up, both Dark Lords could counter pretty much any mind or soul-screwing powers, making a lot of their usual tricks way less noteworthy in this match.
To be fair, the Lich King severely debilitated Sauron via his plague of undeath. Most physical bodies would not survive such a disease.
So Sauron just got rid of his body. Who needs it? Especially when you can rebuild one or just start fighting as a ghost. Both things Sauron could do.
After
That's a good
all,
workaround.
plague is intended for organic mortal enemies and has never infected
Less experience, less powerful.
Another
Okay.
smaller point for Sauron was his weakness. The Lich King was a clever bastard, but even with the Eye of Icarus, it would have been tough for him to decode and destroy the One Ring. Meanwhile, given enough power, Sauron would naturally end up destroying Frostmourne. He's kinda got a thing for breaking swords.
So let's compare their power. While their
Fair
highest
enough.
limits are certainly nebulous, interestingly enough, some of the most impressive feats from both worlds involve lifting islands. As Sauron is a more powerful Maya than Osei, and the Lich King could reliably defeat someone with Gul'dan's magic, it is possible to gauge the difference in power by measuring the islands that were raised.
Keep in mind,
Okay.
Gul'dan had a bunch of help, so we're only giving him his share. Turns out, Osei was doing twice the work.
By examining official maps to determine the volume of the islands, we found a difference between lifting 2 quadrillion tons of rock versus 4 quadrillion tons,
Oh!
among further energy required to actually lift these through the ocean, of course. Both impressive, sure, but Sauron had the edge.
And for the final nail in the coffin, the Lich King might have been super scary, but he really wasn't around for all that long. At least not when compared to the experience Sauron has warring with the world for thousands of years.
The Lich King certainly posed a threat to Sauron, but the ruler of Mordor's awesome might, enduring spirit, and millennia of treachery proved him the superior Dark Lord.
Wow!
Fair.
Is that it?
What?
Nice.
Are you sour on the pun? I was pretty keen about it.
The winner is Sauron.
Congrats, Sauron.
Hey, if you want more Death Metal ASAP, why not grab a membership? You'll get exclusive emotes,
Alright,
badges,
so
live chat, live streams, and a bunch of behind
what's
the scenes
happening
stuff.
next?
Just click that join button. Thanks for watching.
Here. Oh, they're bringing Deku in! Versus... I have thoughts, but let me just talk about this episode first. That was really cool. I will admit I was a tad confused, like, when Sauron started, like, going green. I didn't know what that was about. So, was a little confused there, post-analysis, like, okay, yeah, I understand now. Like, I do feel like a lot of stuff went over my head, but there were a whole lot of, like, just awesome things happening, like the 2 eyes moment, and just the moment Sauron, like, uses the ring, and just a mountain explodes in the background. Like, that was just a really cool shot. And, like, the moment after Sauron wins, and he just sits on the Lich King's throne, and there's just that, like, steam effect going off of him. Like, also, like, just really, really freaking cool. And, I kind of made a joke about this before, but Boomstick eating the One Ring. That's going to be painful later, because, well, it's a ring coming out of a ring. I am so sorry to anyone who watches my videos. But... Anyway, that aside, overall, really cool episode. I liked it. Next time, Deku from My Hero Academia versus, I just want to double check the, I am gonna butcher this. Asta? Is that how you pronounce that? I don't know. Like, I've never seen Black Clover. What is wrong with me today?
You're hopeless.
Yeah, so I'm not very familiar. So I'm gonna go into that episode half blind. I know who Deku is, or Izuku Midoriya, I should say. So it's gonna be fun seeing them finally talk about him. Though I do have to feel a little bad for somebody I know. Because one of the most wanted fights has been Deku versus Miles Morales. Not only did Miles versus Static happened a couple years back. But now this is happening. Man, I can only imagine his reaction, and I just feel a little bad. But hey, if this ends up being a cool episode, I'm sure he'll just be like, yeah, this is cool. Like, and like I said, it'll be nice to hear them finally talk about Midoriya and also new franchise in Black Clover. So that's cool. I don't have too much else to say, so I am just going to wrap this video up. Yeah. Alright, so thanks for watching all of that stuff, and I've already forgotten what I used last time, so here's whatever outro is next. Bye.
Thank you for watching Your Only Mate. Tune in next time.